With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
If we talk about this question, in this question we are asked that will geographical isolation be a major factor in the speciation of a self-pollinating plant species? Why or why not? Right. So if we talk about the geographical isolation, right, so geographical isolation is basically that two species are isolated by a geographical barrier, right? So in that case we can say that the species are geographically isolated. So geographical isolation basically prevents the transfer of genes, right? It prevents the transfer of genes, right, between two species, right, between two species. So in case of the self-pollinating plant species, right, in case of the self-pollinating, right, self-pollinating plant species, in this case, so in this case what happens is that the transfer of pollen grains, right, that the transfer of pollen grain, right, the transfer of pollen grain occurs, right, the transfer of the pollen grain occurs from the anther of a flower, right, from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same flower, right, to the stigma of the same flower. So this is basically known as the self-pollination. So in this case, in case of the self-pollinating species, right, so they do not require, so the basically the self-pollinating plant species, they do not require any pollinating agent, right, they do not require any pollinating agent, right? So when they do not need any pollinating agent, so they are neither dependent on another plant for the pollination. So in that case, right, so in that case what will happen is, so the geographical isolation, right, so in that case the geographical isolation cannot affect, right, it can't affect the speciation, right, it can't affect the speciation of a self-pollinating species, right, it can't affect the speciation of a self-pollinating plant species, right, self-pollinating plant species. So yes, we can say that the geographical isolation will not be a major factor in the speciation of a self-pollinating species, right?
For class 6 to 12, ITG and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.